Welcome, my name is Mike Brown. I'm going to give you a quick overview. This is the quick start guide to using FlowTrack. Now, the great thing is this is so easy to navigate, and anytime you get confused, you can actually just look at this top navigation bar, because this top navigation bar represents how FlowTrack works. So first we have the design section, right? You're going to design your forms, websites, and landing pages. You're going to use those forms on your website, you're going to use those forms on your landing pages, and you're going to use those to collect leads and sell your products and services. Every time someone fills out that form, we input that data into FlowTrack. That's why we call this inputs up here on the left, right? So you're going to be tracking who filled out what form, because every form is going to be a different input. Or you can create a different input, to track anything. You want to track form submissions from an affiliate, from a partner, from someone else, right? You're going to create a different input for all of those. So you're going to track where all your leads, contacts, and orders are coming from. Every time someone fills out that form, it flows through that input and it creates a contact inside FlowTrack. And those contacts run automatically in automation flows, right? So this is our drag and drop automation. And those flows work with the built-in applications such as VoIP and billing. So it's anytime you get confused or need help, just look at the top bar, come to this welcome page and read about a quick overview on each section, and it all makes sense. And so let's dive into the app section first. So as soon as you sign up, you have to ask yourself, are you a business that's dealing with billing customers, right? Are you selling products or services online? If so, just enable this application. All right, do you want to put a phone number on your website? And do you want, when someone calls that phone number, to have some sort of voice menu, interactive voice menu, like press 1 for sales, 2 for support, or forward the phone number to your cell phone, right? If you want any of that, just turn on the VoIP section. What this does is it just enables these menus on the top. So you're going to have this new VoIP and billing menu. If you don't need that, don't turn it on, and your menu is not cluttered up. Next thing you want to do is hover over the settings menu, go into integrations, right? This is where you're going to connect to your payment gateway or your payment provider like Stripe or PayPal Payments Pro, Authorize.net, etc. Right? So you can just click activate to turn these things on. You may also want to activate, let's say, an SMS integration, so you can send order updates or other information, via Twilio or one of the other options. Also under personal integrations, you can connect to your Google Calendar. When you connect to your Google Calendar, it gives you that public calendar scheduling link, so you can email it out to customers and leads, and they can self-serve book a meeting with you. Right? You can also turn on the click-to-call phone from your web browser by turning on this integration. You can also connect to your Google email, like Google Workspace or Gmail, and send emails from inside FlowTrack. Right, so you can enable these integrations that you need for your business. Then the next thing you want to do is ask yourself, well, what are you doing? Are you generating leads online? Are you selling products and services online? Right? If you're doing one of those, you probably want to create a form. So I would just dive right into the form section. I'm going to click Create New Form. And this launches our form builder. Right? And so every time you start a form, it's going to give you this text at the top. You can just hover over that, click the settings button, and start customizing the text. Just start typing in here. Once you got the text how you want it to look, just go ahead and click Save. You may also want to just remove that text. You can just click the red X and delete that. And so if I'm using this form to sell my products and services, I don't want to drag every field individually for my order form. I don't want to create everything from scratch. So I can actually just search for the purchase elements. So you just start typing purchase, PUR for purchase, and it pops up the results. I can drag this form onto my page. So now if I just click anywhere on this purchase element once, it opens up the side menu, and I can say I want to sell products, I want to sell subscriptions, right? So I can start customizing this and say maybe I don't want to collect the address, right? Or maybe I want to collect email address, right? So you can start customizing the configuration of your purchase element. You can start adding products and services. So you can click that button to create a new product or service, and after you do, you're going to see a little drop down for the different products you want to add to your form. So it's that easy to design the payment forms. But let's say you're not selling a product or services online, and you just want to use this form to capture leads. But now you can start dragging different elements to your page. Right, so we have lots of different things you can drag and drop. right? Let's say I wanted to put in a text area, which is just a big text box. So I just drag that onto my page. Next, I want to put some sort of question here. I want to replace that text. So I just hover over it. I click on the settings icon, and I can type in a question. Tell me how we can help you. All right, so I type that in. I click save. Now I have my custom question. I may want to use some common fields on my form. So we have this common fields section, like maybe I want to add on a first name. And you can also just search in here, first name, you can just drag that on. I just start typing first, right? Or I can start typing last name, and I can start dragging and dropping that on my page. Let's say I want to put on an email address onto my form too. So I start typing email, I drag that on. All right, now my form is perfect, right? So I'm going to click save. This is what I want. And I'm going to name this form, how can we help? So this is my how can we help form. So I'm saving this form, and FlowTrack is doing all the hard work for you right now. So it's creating a new shareable hosted form link for you. It's enabling this form to be used in the drag and drop web designer. So let me show you what just happened right now. So when I save this form, it created a new input for me. So if I go to my input dashboard, remember this is where I track all the different events and where all my leads and contacts are coming from. So now I'm going to see I have this new input named how can we help input, right? And the source of that is a form, my how can we help form. And this is not hooked up to a flow yet. So we'll show you how you can do that. And so the great thing is I just click on this little info box and I get this shareable hosted form link. So I can copy that to my clipboard. I'm going to open this up in a new tab. And so this is that form I just created, right? So I can actually fill this out right now, and I'll just put in, my name. I'll put in an email, say yes, please. All right, so when I fill out this form, it's going to create a new contact inside FlowTrack. So I just submitted that. I'm going to come back to my inputs dashboard, right? And I'm going to refresh this page. So now that I refresh this page, I have this little colorful representation of what happened, right? So I had one person fill out this how can we help form. It created a contact, and that was a valid contact. I can also come down to this table right here, and I see the same thing. There was one valid contact created from the how can we help form, right? So that's exactly what just happened. I filled out that form, it created a contact. So now if I go into my contact section, I'm going to see a new contact that was just created, right? So I can click on that name, opens up the contact details. Now we use the data from the form to create this contact, right? We had the name and we had the email. And I can also come up here on the top and I scroll over to the right and I click on the Forms tab, and I'm going to see what form this user filled out. They filled out the how can we help form. So I can click on that. It opens up the form and the data that they submitted right here. So I always have that at my fingertips. Now, think about this, right? Your contacts might be filling out multiple forms. They might order from you, right? You might send them a survey form after that. They might place multiple orders, right? So your contact's going to have a full list of all the forms they've ever filled out. So it's easy to stay organized, right? So that's how the forms work inside FlowTrack. So I'm going to go back to that input dashboard again real quick, and I'm going to show you the different options you have for this form again. So I'm going to click on that info box. I showed you how you can use that shareable hosted form link. If you also have a website, let's say like WordPress or a blog or some other website, and you're not using FlowTrack for your website, no problem. Just copy and paste this snippet of code onto your existing website, wherever it is, and now you got the power of FlowTrack with your existing website. It's going to drop in that form into your website. So remember, we have our new input, how can we help? Every time someone fills that out, it creates a contact, but it's not hooked up to any automation yet. This flow column is blank, right? So I want some automation to happen. Every time someone fills out this form, I want to send the user an email. I want to tag the contact as a hot lead, right? You can create a flow to accomplish all that and more. So I just come into the flow section. I go to the flow builder. I'm going to click on create flow. And I'm going to say I want this flow to process form submissions, right? And so every time someone fills out this how can we help form, right, I want this automation to run. So I'm going to click on create flow. And so now I can start dragging the different steps that I want. So, let's say I want to tag this customer as a hot lead. So I'm going to drag a tag step, and I'm going to say hot lead, right? And I'm going to save that. Now I start connecting my steps. And let's say next I want to create a task for myself to call that lead. So I can come in here and I'm going to go to the add task step, create task. So I'm going to say I'm the owner, and I'm going to say call customer or call lead. I'll make this a call category. I'm going to say it's due within 3 hours. I'm going to make a note, call lead. All right, so I save this, and so now I got my flow, right? This is exactly what I want to happen. So I got my flow. I go ahead and I click save, and now it's going to ask me what event do we want to trigger this flow. Now remember, every time someone fills out that form, it flows through that input. So I'm going to say trigger this event every time a contact is received from that input, and that's going to wire it right up. So that's the default setting. I just click save. I'm going to give this a name. See, new lead flow. So now I save this, and FlowTrack's doing the work and wiring this up to your form right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this input dashboard, and we're going to see what happens. So we see now we have our input we had before, but now it has a destination flow here. But let's say you want to use this form on your website and you want to create a website inside FlowTrack. Well, just come to the design section. All right, I'm going to come in here. I'm going to click on create a new website. Now you're going to use this website project when you're creating funnels. Anytime you have multiple pages you need to deal with. So you're creating funnels, you're creating a full website, etc. We actually have a funnel project down here that says coming soon, and this is for A/B split testing of funnels. So if you're designing just a regular funnel, just come in here and create a website project. And I'm going to come in here and name this. So first website. So I click save. Now this brings me into the web designer. I can just click this plus to start building a page. I can select one of these templates. I just hover over it and click select. Or if I want to start from a blank page, I click on the second tab and I click create from empty page. But I'm going to start with a template. All right, let's say I want to load up this template right here. So I'm just going to pick this template. And now FlowTrack's doing all the hard work for you, right? So we're importing this template. It can contain, let's say, 3 to 8 pages, depending on the template. So it's creating all these pages for you. It's loading it with all the images. It's building you the list of elements you need for your website. So including that form we just made. So I'm going to show you how we can use that form on your website. And so this is going to take about 30 to 60 seconds, and then we're going to load up the web designer. And so now we got the web designer loaded. And this is where we're going to be customizing our page. So it's super easy to customize this. You can just click on it and start typing to update the text and images. You want to swap out an image, just double click on it, opens up the asset manager, and you can start searching right here for, blue, whatever, blue image. Or you can type in a keyword and drop in the image that you want, and just click on it to insert it. So it's super easy to update your page. But let's start by inserting this form onto our website now. So I want to put this form onto my website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a section where I want to put this form, and maybe I want to put it here. I want to get rid of this image. So I just click delete on my keyboard, or I can click the undo button right here again and add that back. So I'm going to add this image back. You can also click this little delete icon over here. So you get these little helper menus to help you change common things or remove things, copy things. I'm going to click delete. Same thing, the helper menu on other items. So if I click on text, I get a helper menu. I want to change the color of the text, right? I just click on that, the little box, the color box. I want to change the fonts, make it larger, smaller. Right? These helper menus are great. Helps you make changes to your website super fast and easy. So I want to put this form right here in this section. So on the left-hand side, we got this plus to add elements. And so I'm going to come down to the bottom, and I'm going to look for that form I just created. Right? So I created this form. How can we help? So I'm going to drag this form onto my website. Right? Now I have my new form on my website. It's that easy, right? So this can be my lead capture form. It can be my checkout form. You can use this for anything. And so it's that easy to add forms onto your website. And so I'll go ahead and I'll save this page. The other thing I want you to know is this Pages Manager on the left. Click on this. It's going to load all the different pages you have in your template. All right, so if there's a page you don't want, just click delete. You can remove that. If you want to copy a page too, and let's say you got your page looking perfect and you want to copy this and make another version, you can just go ahead and click the copy button right here and make a copy of it. The other thing I want you guys to know in here is anytime you're changing the settings of something, if you don't see the option you want on this little helper menu, if you just click on the item once, click on this paintbrush over here on the left, it opens up our whole style manager, right? And this is where you can change all sorts of things. So you wanted to add a background, right? In one of your boxes, you'll click on the box, and I'm going to scroll down to decorations. I'm going to scroll down to background. All right, I'm going to click add a background. I can do image backgrounds, I can do solid backgrounds, I can do gradient backgrounds, right? So you can customize this super easy. So we have tons of options in the style manager, and this is how you're going to edit your website to make it look beautiful. And the other thing to know is all your page settings are in here. So you can just click on this little page setting icon. You can change the page title, right? This is what shows in the address bar of your visitors. You can add descriptions and keywords for SEO customization. You can upload your own custom code. This is where you put like Facebook pixels and Google Analytics tracking, right? You can do that all in here. And the slug, this is the page name that shows up in the browser of your visitors. So you might name this Contact Us page, or so you just type that in here. So really easy to customize everything for the site. Now you can also edit your site on different screen sizes. So you want to see how this looks on a mobile screen, etc. You can just switch between that. Now every time you make a change on one of these specific screen sizes, it actually applies to every size screen smaller than this too, right? So if I change this to orange, that's going to show up on all the screens smaller than that. Now if I go to a larger screen, right, it doesn't show the orange anymore. So you can customize this really easy and get this looking great on all your devices and make device specific changes. The other thing I want to show you in here really quick is this layers manager, right? So a lot of these items are layered. So what that means is like this header is inside this column and this column is inside this row, right? So if you ever need to find a specific element on your page, just open up the layer manager and it's going to show, okay, the header's inside the column, column's inside a row, row's inside a box, right? So it's really easy to select the item you want to change from this menu. So if I want to add a background, for example, to this box, I don't want to add the background maybe to the column, I want to add it to the whole box. I just select that box and it pops up this helper menu, or again I can open up the style manager on the right to pop open more settings. So super easy to use the web designer. Just pay attention to the menus on the left and the menus on the top for a lot of the core functionality in here. So now that I got my website created, I created that form. You can also connect this website to your own custom domain. You can save it. If you click this little save drop-down button, you can do save and publish page or save and publish site, right? You can use a free site address like mike.flowtrack.me, or I can connect my own domain. So we have other videos on that, or you can walk through the tutorial kind of wizard that we have right here. Right, so it's super easy to build these forms and sell your products and services or generate leads and put them on your website. So we just kind of did a quick overview of some of the core functionality of FlowTrack. And so this is, again, just a quick overview to help you get started in FlowTrack. I'm sure once you see this, everything for you is just going to click. Now there's a lot more details in every section. Like if you really want to dive in on advanced design, web design and the designer, or design 101, and more details. We have different videos on every subject, so I recommend you go in and dive into those and learn more about each section of FlowTrack. But this is all the basics you need to know to get you started, and a high-level quick overview. I appreciate you signing up for FlowTrack, and I hope you enjoy FlowTrack, using it for every part of your business.